My neighbor's untrained dogs terrorized the block, so I made sure everyone knew who was responsible. I have 3 dogs, and I take being a responsible pet owner extremely seriously. If my dogs bark outside, they get brought in immediately. Each one has been through extensive obedience training, and I make sure they're well-behaved members of our community. It's something I've invested significant time and money into, because I believe that's what you do when you choose to have pets. When my neighbors first moved in next door, they were genuinely shocked at how well-trained my dogs were. I could tell it made them uncomfortable because their 3 dogs were completely out of control, reactive, constantly barking, and showing zero signs of any training whatsoever. Whenever they'd see me correcting my dog's behavior, they'd make comments like, "Don't do that. They're just being dogs and doing their job." It became clear they didn't want to feel bad about their own pet's chaotic behavior. My yard is enclosed by a beautiful vinyl picket fence that cost me $8,000 to install. When they moved in, they built their fence using mine as the 4th wall, which I didn't mind at all. Neighbors helping each other out is perfectly fine with me. The problem started when one of their dogs began repeatedly trying to break through my fence to attack mine. I really wanted to avoid any conflict with these new neighbors, so I went above and beyond to find a solution. I spent another $1,000 installing privacy backing on my fence and planted 15 boxwood shrubs along the property line, hoping to block the visual trigger that was making their dog go berserk whenever it saw my pets. The husband literally mocked my efforts, telling me with this smug attitude, "That's not gonna work, they'll still hear each other." Unfortunately, he was absolutely right. Despite my significant financial investment and all the labor-intensive work of planting those bushes, their dog continued its aggressive behavior toward my fence. After my expensive solution failed, I decided to try direct communication. I sent them a polite, carefully worded text explaining my concerns about their dog attacking my fence. I was worried it would eventually break, offered potential solutions, emphasized everyone's safety, and made it clear I wanted to maintain good relations between us. Their response was to completely play the victim and somehow blame my dogs for the situation. Then I started receiving these absolutely unhinged text messages from the wife about how my polite message had ruined her week and how stressful this whole situation was for them. She actually demanded that I apologize to her for bringing up legitimate safety concerns about her aggressive dog. Eventually, they installed a 6-foot privacy fence attached to mine, which was actually illegal height according to local regulations. But since they clearly hated me by this point, I figured I'd prefer not seeing them anyway, so I didn't report the violation to the town authorities. I thought this would solve the problem, but I was completely wrong. Instead of keeping their dogs contained, they started letting them run off leash in the unfenced areas of their property. That's when I made the decision to install security cameras, and thank God I did because those cameras captured everything I needed. The footage showed their same aggressive dog still trying to break through my fence to attack my pets, their other 2 dogs running loose through my garden, and all 3 of them running at large in the street where people in our neighborhood walk constantly. The safety concerns were becoming a serious community issue. After they started cursing me out during another incident where their dog tried attacking mine, I finally got the police involved. This absolutely infuriated the wife, but the lieutenant who responded was genuinely concerned about neighborhood safety after reviewing my video footage. He told me to keep sending every clip I captured, and he'd issue fines for each violation. Tonight I caught them on camera doing something that gave me the perfect opportunity for some well-deserved revenge. I watched them walk their dog in the wildlife refuge across the street, let it defecate on public property, and then simply walk away without cleaning it up. Our neighborhood has a Facebook group where residents constantly complain about mystery dog waste appearing everywhere. People are always posting frustrated messages about having to navigate around these unwelcome surprises during their daily walks. So instead of ignoring what I'd witnessed like I might have done before, I sent the video directly to our community leader. He was so disgusted by their behavior that he asked me to post the footage publicly, and also requested that I email every resident in the neighborhood about what I'd documented. Within hours, the entire neighborhood knew exactly who was responsible for multiple ongoing problems, letting their dogs run off leash, harboring an aggressive animal that attacks other pets, and refusing to clean up after their animals in public spaces. The community response was overwhelming. People started commenting that they'd stopped walking on our block because they felt unsafe around these loose, aggressive dogs. Others mentioned they'd always wondered who was leaving the piles of waste all over the neighborhood paths and common areas. Our community leader personally went to their house to shame them about their behavior and mentioned he'd be discussing the situation with the police as well. Having that kind of community support and official backing felt incredible after months of dealing with their hostility and deflection. So tonight, instead of me being the one feeling frustrated and helpless, they're the ones dealing with public embarrassment, private confrontation, and likely another round of fines from law enforcement. The best part is that every single accusation against them is backed by clear video evidence, so there's absolutely no way for them to spin the narrative or play victim this time. Sometimes when people refuse to be reasonable neighbors, the only solution is to let the entire community see exactly what kind of people they really are. The truth has a way of speaking for itself when you have the documentation to back it up.